I think we can start now. Welcome. This is Seidat's Basic User Training webinar, and I will be your host today. We're gonna have 1 hour of user training, and I will tell you exactly how to use Seidat in your whatever sales processes or just presenting in general. Just an FYI, this webinar will be recorded, so feel free to ask any questions. You can ask them in the chat, or if you open up your microphone, that is also okay. But just mind that your voice will be in the recording. My name is Emma Ojapuska, and I am the host today. I work as a customer success manager here at Seidat, and my mission is to make sure that all of our customers are happy and stay happy with Seidat. Here's today's agenda. We are gonna first go through, just in a nutshell, what is Seidat. After that, I'm gonna switch to the application and show you how to create a presentation and how to edit a single slide. After that, we're going to go through how to present with Seidat in different situations. And lastly, how to share your materials and how to know who viewed your materials. So basically, we're going to talk about analytics in the last part. The chat is open during the whole webinar, so feel free to ask any questions. Also, feel free to open up your mic. I will answer also those questions. During the training, once we switch to the platform itself, you can try all of these things at the same time, especially if you have two screens you can use. It is a good way to learn by doing. If you don't have two screens at the moment, it might be a little hard, so it is fine just to watch and learn. All right, first, we're going to start by figuring out what is Seidat. I know I see some familiar names, people who are in this webinar, so some of you already might know what is Seidat, but let's just go through simply what Seidat is. So Seidat is a cloud-based sales platform. With Seidat, you can create presentations, you can present them. I am presenting with Seidat at the moment. Then you can also share your materials to your for internal use or for external use. You can also sign your presentations. So basically, you can use your presentations as offers. You are also able to collaborate with all of your team members and colleagues, as in Seidat, you have all your materials in one place. Everybody can utilize the same materials. So if you and your colleague have the same taste in sales presentations, you can use the same presentation. But if you want to use personal materials, that is also okay, and you can do that. But Seidat brings all the presentations and all the sales materials in one place. Seidat also works with all devices. So basically, if you don't have an access to a computer sometimes, or maybe your customer doesn't have an access to a computer, you can also send a Seidat presentation with a link to anybody's mobile phone, and they can open the presentation in their mobile phone browser. So wherever you are or wherever are your customers, you are still able to show the materials you want. Seidat can be also integrated to all kind of sales and marketing ecosystems. This basically means that you are able to automate your sales processes. You are also able to get more analytics of your presentations and who views them than in the most presentation platforms. We have some features that are quite different than for example, in PowerPoint or Google Slides or Keynote or whatever is the presentation platform you're used to using. And I'm going to go through the the features that make us the most different than other presentation platforms. The first one is the matrix structure. So basically, you are most likely used to having a presentation that is structured so that you only have this one line of slides. In Seidat, we do this differently. So we have this matrix structure. This enables all your salespeople, marketing people, everyone in the company to structure their sales decks, company decks, offers, whatever you're using Seidat for, in a different way. For example, we here have a sales deck in matrix format. Here you have basically the main themes that you want to go through in a sales meeting. And then below each of these slides, you see more slides. And these are the slides that you can use if the respondent or the customer is interested in the topic. So for example, here we have a reference slide. This could be this kind of a logo wall. And then you have a customer in a meeting who sees a logo they recognize in the logo wall. And then they ask that, hey, Emma, can you tell me more about this specific company and what you did with them? Okay, of course I can show it to you. And I can show it from here, no matter in which place of this stack the slide is. So I don't have to show all the cases that she or he is not interested in. I can just show the one that they are interested in. And so it is easy for me to move forward and answer the questions that I am being asked. This can be done by utilizing the matrix structure, but also by utilizing presenter view. So in Seidat, at the moment when I'm presenting, I am looking at this kind of view. Well, this is not my view at the moment, but a similar view to this. I am using the presenter view. This allows me to move from one slide to another without actually going through all the slides. So if I would be first here in the front page, and then somebody would ask me a question about analytics in Seidat, I don't have to use the arrow keys on my keyboard to go through all of these slides first. I can just pick this slide here that tells about the analytics and show it to the customer immediately. In the customer's mind, they might think that, okay, Emma was smart. Emma knew exactly what I'm gonna ask, and she knew beforehand how to structure this presentation so that it goes exactly according to my wishes. Well, that is not true, but that is the feeling that the customer hopefully gets. Then, if I'm in a situation where I do not have an access to a computer, I know it might seem a bit weird, but it might happen. In those situations, normally I am like, okay, I can show any of my sales materials. I cannot present because I don't have an access to screen sharing platform, for example, Google Meet or Teams or whatever. Of course, I might have them in my mobile phone, but it's really hard to share my screen with the phone. So with Seidat, you can use live link. I'm actually gonna send you this presentation's live link in the chat right now. And if you click that, you can open the same presentation in your browser. You could open the same link with your mobile phone, with your computer, with whatever. I can also open the same link, and with that link, I can decide what page are you using. So basically, there is no need for screen sharing as everybody can utilize their own devices. Next up, one more thing or one more feature before we actually go into the platform. So this is Seidat's content options. So maybe normally you have pictures, text, maybe videos in your presentations. With Seidat, you can do much more. So basically, when the presentation is online, you can easily embed rich content. So for example, if you have a website that you want to show off, you can embed it in the presentation and it can be used in the presentation. You can also embed, for example, panorama pictures, 3D models, whatever is interested for you. I normally, or the most richest content that I normally use is website embedding. And how I use it is by embedding my calendar in my presentations. So now if any of you opened the link in from the chat, you can see actually that all of you are able to now book a meeting with me through this slide. So you don't actually have to switch to any calendar website or anywhere. You can just pick a time you want from this slide and even book the meeting from there. I'm using currently user.com. I know that this is something that not many people have heard of. And also our salespeople are not using user.com calendar. They are using You Can Book Me. That works pretty well. Also, Calendly is another software for this or another service for this. So feel free whatever you want, but You Can Book Me, Calendly, user.com, we know that those work. Then let's move forward. Next up, how to create and edit a presentation. If you have any questions while I'm speaking, don't hesitate to ask. I have the chat open and I try to read the questions at the same time as I'm talking, so then it's easier for all of us to know exactly what is happening. But yeah, let's move to the platform. This is how all Seidat themes look like. You might have different presentations than what I do in this Seidat theme, but basically the front page looks like this. Here in the dashboard, we have all the presentations that I have in my Seidat theme. If I want to find a specific presentation, I can either go here to the search bar, look here, Emma. Now I see 2 presentations that have the name Emma on them. That's the easy way to find any presentation. Other way is to sort the presentations by alphabetical order, date created, or date updated. Anyways, at the moment, I see all the presentations that are in this theme, and it is quite hard to just to scroll and try to find the one that I'm looking for. And usually I don't do this. I use always tags. So I am not just scrolling through and trying to search the name. I always use tags. Tags can be found here. So if you press the little button here, you can see all the tags that are in your Seidat theme. This is something that you can set up yourself if you're a brand manager in your Seidat theme. But yeah, I have here English, Finnish, templates, proposals, sales, and Emma tag. So if I press now Emma, I will see all presentations that are assigned to Emma. Then if I want to see only English presentations, I can press the English tag, and now I have all the English presentations here. If I want to see all the proposals that are in the English language, let's see, we don't have any. Finnish language, we have 3. So this is how you can filter out the presentations and easily find the presentation you are looking for. Now, then, how to create a presentation? We have 3 options here. The first one is something that most people do when they first start using Seidat, and that is importing their presentations from PowerPoint. If you want to do that, if you have already nice presentations in your PowerPoint, just simply click this button in the dashboard, import PowerPoint, and choose the PowerPoint from your computer. Now, here we have 3 different modes. Okay, there's a question. I saw it immediately. I'm so proud of myself. Is it possible to make folders for presentations or proposals in the main menu? Unfortunately, no. Folders are something that only exist in the image bank. So here we have folders, but in the main menu, we do not have folders because we use tags instead. I know there's 2 different kind of people in this world. The other ones like folders, the other ones like tags. I prefer tags, and once you start using them, I bet you will like them more. All right, let's continue. So when you're importing PowerPoints, you have 3 different modes. If you just want to bring the PowerPoints fast to Seidat, you can just click the last one, slides as screenshots. Then it will bring all the PowerPoint slides as screenshots. It means that you are not able to edit them in Seidat anymore, but that is the fastest way to get all the slides into Seidat. This is not something that I recommend in a long run, but instead use editable slides or the second option. The difference between editable slides and editable slides with text as images is that with editable slides, you are able to edit all the content that is there. So for example, if you have elements, you can move them around, pictures, you can move them around, delete them, add them, whatever. So basically it's just a normal slide that you can edit. Now, the difference between this is that in the second option, the texts will be as images. And the reason for that is that in Seidat, you have brand settings. And with these brand settings, it means that you are only able to utilize the fonts and text styles that are set in the brand settings. So for example, in this Seidat theme, I can only use these kind of textiles that I can find in these brand settings. Now, if I'm importing a PowerPoint and the PowerPoint has, for example, Comic Sans as a font, and I did not have Comic Sans in my brand settings, it means that once you import the presentation with editable slides mode, it will change the Comic Sans font to some font that is the nearest that can be found in the brand settings. If you have some special fonts that you do not yet have in the brand settings, you are able to import the slides with this mode. And with this mode, the presentation and the slide is completely editable other than the text is in pictures, which means that once it's a picture, the font doesn't change. That is that shortly. If you have any questions about PowerPoint import, we have quite good support site, which you can find from pressing the little question mark here, and then just go to support site, and there you can find more detailed instructions on how to import your PowerPoints. Yeah, so that was the first way of creating a presentation in Seidat. The second way is by utilizing the already existing presentations. If I would like to look at this presentation, okay, seems nice, but I want to make some edits. I would not make them here immediately because I know all my colleagues are using this presentation. So instead, I'm gonna duplicate this presentation. It happens from pressing this button here, duplicate presentation. I'm gonna give it a new name, Emma's Peter. And then I'm gonna just take the template tag off and add Emma tag here. Now we have a third thing here, presentation access. From here, you are able to select who are able to see your presentation and who are able to edit it. By default, all people can see and edit the presentation if they have editing rights or viewing rights in the team. But let's say that this is a surprise presentation that I want to hide from my colleagues. I would go here, change, and now in the first thing you can see that the maximum team access is set to editing. So basically everybody can edit this presentation. Now I want to hide it. So I press these little dots here and select no access. Now it means that all the teammates that I have in my Seidat team, we are not able to see this presentation. But let's say that this is a surprise presentation to Heikki, for example, and I want that Jori is still able to see this, but Heikki not. I can select Jori Seppälä here, and now I have given Jori also editing rights to this presentation. If I want for Jori to only see this presentation, I can also give him only viewer rights to this presentation. Now it means that I can edit it, Jori can see it, and Heikki doesn't know it exists. Update permissions, and we're good to go. Now, duplicate presentation, and now I see it in the dashboard. Now, if I want to create a presentation from the blank, I can also do that. That happens by clicking Create Presentation, giving it a name. This is, let's say, Emma's sales deck. All right. I select Emma tag from there, and presentation access can be set to default. So, all right, let's go ahead and create the presentation. Now, let's start editing. First, I press this button here, Edit Presentation. Here we have a completely blank presentation. I can go ahead and start editing one slide by slide, but instead of that, I want to first create the structure. So as I said before, in Seidat, the presentations are not in just one little line. They are created as a matrix. And if I want to first, let's say, brainstorm with my colleagues about the structure of this presentation, or I'm not quite sure yet how to actually do it, I could just create blank slides here, put them wherever I want by pressing the plus button on top of new slide, and now I have some sort of a structure. Well, this is just an empty presentation, so it doesn't give me much. So I'm gonna go ahead and name all of these slides. So then I can see that, okay, maybe this works here. Maybe I should move that to there. So let's start with naming this front slide, or cover slide maybe would be better. And then I'm gonna maybe tell about our company. So company in general, maybe more company, I can't write, numbers here, whatever I want. And now that these slides have names, it's way easier for me to start thinking about the structure in more detail. And now if I want to move these slides from here to here, I simply click this mark here, drag slide, and then drag it wherever I want to have it. If I have a slide stack, so stack of 3 slides here, I can also move the whole stack by pressing this mark here and moving the whole stack. Now, I know that my team already has some good slides here, and I am too lazy to create everything from the beginning. It is also a waste of time. So I'm going to utilize the slides that already exist in this Seidat team. If I want to do that, I'm going to go ahead and put my mouse over the new slide. And instead of pressing this plus button here, I'm going to go ahead and go here on the left side, add from slide bank. Once I press this, it opens the slide bank on the right hand side. And here I can see all the presentations that I have in this Seidat theme. If I want to utilize, for example, Emma's meeting minutes presentation, I press this. I see that, okay, here's a nice cover page. I want to use this. I press insert copy, and now I have it in this presentation. Then I'm going to drag it all the way here and delete the other one that was empty. I can also select any presentation I want, add any slide I want, and I'm good to go. Now, here you can see that we have 2 different kinds of slides. Maybe for new users, it might be something that you are not able to see in this moment, but I'm going to explain what is different between these slides. So we have this slide here, cover page, and then we have the contact slide here. The difference is that this contact slide has this white little triangle on the right side, and this one doesn't. It means that the contact slide is a smart slide. And smart slide is kind of a slide that is updated automatically from one place to all presentations. So here we have general cover. As you can see, it has been used in company deck and a pitch deck. Now, the general cover slide is a smart slide, which means that if I edit it in company deck or in pitch deck or in my smart slide bank, the updates will be shown in all the presentations where this slide is used at the same time. Usually, the slides that are smart slides are something that you do not update regularly. So for example, contact information is something that you are not changing to every presentation, but if the contact information is needed to change, it is now easy to update the slide from here. And as I can see, this slide has been used in 7 presentations. And if I modify it, the edits will be shown in all of those 7 presentations. So let's say that I switch my phone number. It is not ending into 1 anymore. It's ending to 6. And now if I press save, the changes are shown in all presentations where this contact slide was used. If you see a nice smart slide, but you just only want to use it as a template and don't want that everybody else will see your changes or your edits, you can also unlink smart slides anytime. So I press here the 3 little dots, and here I have unlink smart slide. If I press this is now a normal slide. So if I now make any edits to this, let's say that I'm gonna switch Will's head to here and press save. Now this change is not shown in any other presentation. All right, so the easiest way to create slides from scratch is by utilizing the already existing slides in the slide bank here, or then you can of course go ahead and create completely new slide. If there's no questions about editing a presentation in a big picture, so basically the structure, I'm gonna go ahead and start editing a single slide. We're gonna start by editing this blank slide. So then we have a blank canvas and I can do all everything I can do in my graphical skills, which are non-existent, but I think this will be helpful for you guys to see that that it is easy even for people who don't have any skills for this. All right, so now we have a blank slide. Most likely you would start by adding a background color or a picture to the background. And I am quite sure that everybody will start by going here, seeing that, okay, it says add image. I'm gonna add an image. Now it first opens the Seidat image bank, which basically means that all the pictures you have here are in Seidat, and these are the only pictures you can use in your presentations. So if you are missing a picture you would like to use, you have to first upload it to Seidat's image bank. You can upload any picture from even from your social media channels or from Google Drive or Dropbox or OneDrive, whatever you want to use, or then you can just drag and drop them to here, or then you can also copy paste any picture from clipboard to here. Let's say that I'm taking a lot of screenshots. I would go first here. I want to have this slide as a screenshot in my presentation. I can just take the screenshot right here. Now it is in the clipboard. And as I'm in this view, I press Command V. So if you have a PC, it will be Control V, but Command V as I have a Mac. And now the image appears here. If I want to edit the picture, I can also crop it here already, or then I can make it a circle if this is what I want to do. I press save, then done, it's good, upload, and now I have this image in my Seidat's image bank. But let's not use this beautiful picture as the background picture. Let's use something from the background images folder instead. Here, let's take, for example, this one. It's a nice picture. And now we have a background. I showed you how to do it from pressing add image. And this is something that most likely 90% people do, as the add image button is right here. But this is a wrong way to do it. So instead of adding the background picture from here, add image, you should go here and press set background image. The difference between these two slides is that if I now add the same picture from here, set background image, it will look different depending on the device that I'm looking this presentation from. So if I go and present this slide, you can see that the whole picture is filling the screen that I have. If I would be using a mobile phone, it would look like this. So again, it is scaling and it is filling the whole screen. Now, if we compare to this slide where I didn't add it as a background picture, but instead I added it as a picture, it doesn't fill the whole screen and it leaves these white little blanks here. So that is the reason why you should always add a picture as a background instead of normal image. You can also set a background color. So if you have a nice picture that you want that everybody sees, no matter what their screen size is, you can also add the picture from add image, put it, for example, here, and then put a nice background color here. So still now you have something else other than white all over the screen if somebody is using a mobile phone or different size of a screen. All right, so that is one thing that might be something that confuses people, so adding the picture as a background. But that is the hardest thing, so everything from now on will be easy. We're gonna start by adding some text to this slide. It happens also from the left side, so everything you want to add to the slide is found from the left side. Let's add some text. Select the text style we want to use. Let's put the white title text here. and then just move the text element here in the upper corner. Now, this is a title for my slide. All right, looks quite good. But I feel that it's missing something. What it is missing is something that will bring up the text. And if I want to bring up the text a little bit more, I can add a shape below the text. So I'm gonna press add shape, select the this shape, and then just move it here on top of the text first. Then I'm gonna go here in the middle and send it backward. So now it is below the text. Okay, well, this black is kind of too harsh, so maybe I want to make it a little bit more transparent. I can easily do it by pressing the color here and then dragging this slider here, so now it is a bit transparent. All right, now you know how to add text to your slides, and maybe you also want to add your company logo to the slide. You have to upload all the company logos in the image bank first. Gladly, I have some logos to spare here, so I can just use this, your logo blue. This is our logo now. All right, we can put it here in the upper corner, and let's say that we want that nobody will ever change the position of this logo. Okay, I'm gonna switch it because we cannot see the blue logo at all. I'm gonna switch it to white one. Let's pretend that didn't happen. All right, so now we have our logo here, and we want to make sure that nobody can move this anywhere. I'm gonna click the logo, so now it is selected, and then I'm gonna go to the right side and where I have the slide properties. I'm gonna scroll down, and here I can see all the elements that are in this slide. I can see that the logo is here, and once I hover my mouse over it, here's a little lock. If I press the lock, the element is locked. So now, even if I wanted to move the logo, I can't. So this is something you can do to elements that you want to stay in one place, and you want that people will not move them by accident. Then let's add something more interesting than just text and a background picture. Let's add a website. You can embed any website by pressing the add iframe button. And now we have here a place where you can put any link from the internet that allows iframes. For example, I can just embed our website here, seidat.com, press enter, and now I have a fully functioning website on my slide. I can make it a little bit wider so it makes more sense, and when I press save, and if I'm presenting this, I can use the website the same way I use it in our normal website. There's a question: can you copy the logo so that it is in the same exact place on all slides throughout all the presentation? Yes, you can do it. So it is not that you can add the logo to each slide by one click. You can still go, and first I have to unlock the logo element, and now I have it selected again, and now I'm pressing Command C on my keyboard, or then I can also press this copy element. And now as I move to the next slide and I press paste element, it will go immediately to the same place. So by copying and then pressing Command V or pasting the element, you can add it to all the slides to the same place. All right, let's go back to the nicer looking slide. I don't know if this is it, but it is something. All right, so now we have a website, we have a title, we have text, we have background picture. This is all we need. We are ready to present. All right, I press save, and now I go back here, edit presentation, and I can see again that, okay, this presentation is still quite empty. So maybe I don't want to present it. I can just delete the empty slides here and add more from the slide bank again. So this is the easiest way to create new presentations if you already have existing materials in the Seidat theme. So just go to the slide bank, add as many slides as you want, and then later you can just select the order to whatever you want. But let's say that we are going to use this very beautiful presentation and present it to my colleague who is in the same room as me. So now we are moving forward to the next phase of this user training, which is how to present materials in different situations. So, as I said, I am in a room with my colleagues and I want to show off my presentation. You can just go ahead, pick the presentation you want to show and press play. Now I can show the presentation. I can move through this presentation, which is quite empty as we can see, with the keyboard that I have on my computer or by swiping on top of the slide. So this is the easiest way to present to anybody who is in the same room as you. All right, now my colleague said to me that, Emma, this presentation is ugly, so you can't use this in your sales processes, and I am okay with that, as I know that that is the truth. So I'm going to go ahead and pick another presentation for my sales meeting. Let's still pick something that is ready here, so we are not creating a new one completely. Let's take this sales deck. And here I am again, ready to present, but this time I am not in the same room as my colleagues. I am in the same room as our customer. The customer has a bigger screen where I can present, and then I have my laptop. So right now what I want to do is press play and start presenting. That is the easiest way to do anything. Everybody knows how to press play. So if you are used to using Google Slides or PowerPoint, this is exactly how you're doing it there also. But Seidat offers much more. So I think you shouldn't be only scrolling to a presentation with your keyboard. Instead, you should use the presenter view that is in Seidat. If you are now in the play mode, you can open the presenter window from going to the right side lower corner here. And then from here, I just press this little map of the presentation and it opens this. And from here, I can select the third one, open presenter window. Now it opens a presenter window that I can use if I want to control the presentation and switch the slides without actually using my keyboard or without the customer seeing. Well, as you can see, you all see this. So it means that also the customer sees it. So if you have two devices, if you have a bigger screen where the presentation is, and then you have a smaller screen, let's say your laptop, you can just drag this window to the other screen. Now I dragged it to my laptop window, and from here I can easily select the slides that I want to show. This is one way of doing it. This is not the way that I am doing it, but this is the easiest way. So click play first, then you go here, click this, and open presenter window. All right. During these times, I think none of us are in our customers' offices. So maybe it's best that now we go through how to present with Seidat when you are not in the same room as the customer. So let's say that I have a meeting, virtual meeting coming up, and I want to show the sales deck again. I'm going to press here, the sales deck. Here I can find it easily. All right, I have it here. Now, I'm used to sharing my screen, so I'm going to do it again right now. I can press once again play, and I'm going to share the screen. Now, if I'm sharing the whole screen, the customer can see if I go ahead and press once again this map here and open the presenter window here. This is not something I want the customer to see, as I want to be in charge, but I want to be in charge so that they don't see it. So instead of sharing my whole screen, I only share one window. Everybody should always share just one window or just one tab when they're sharing a screen, because if you don't do that, the customer can also see everything else that is happening in the screen. So maybe you get a notification, maybe the battery is running out, maybe your friend is sending you an email that the customer is not supposed to see and you get a notification on the screen. That's the reason why you should never share the full screen. You can always select to only present or to share one window, which is what I always do. So if I press that I'm going to share only one window, then I can just easily go ahead and press open presenter window. And this is not now something that the customer sees, because I'm only sharing the window below the presenter window. This is a completely different window, so now this is not shared at all. All right, so now we know how to present with Seidat when somebody's in the same room as you, or if you are having a Teams meeting or Google Meet meeting. In Google Meet, you can also share the presentation without sharing your screen. Or if you're in a meeting where half of the people are in the room with you and half of the people are looking at the presentation from a computer. In those situations, what I would do, I would share a Seidat live link. So I go once again to the dashboard, pick the presentation I want to show, the sales deck, and now I go here to share presentation. Once I press this, I go to this sharing page. And as I am now in a meeting, I want to select Seidat live. So live means that this is a live meeting. This is everything that I do in this link is happening in live action. That is maybe a way to remember it. All right, so now the meeting is starting. I press here Seidat live, and I'm gonna create a new Seidat live link. This link is something I can share to anybody, no matter if they are in my Seidat team, not in my Seidat team, if they're from the customer organization, if they're halfway across the world, it doesn't matter. You can share this link. You can share it, for example, in a Google Meet chat, Teams chat. You can also go ahead and press send via email, and you can just send it to the customer's email. You can copy the link, send it as a message, whatever you like. Now that I have shared this link to all of the people who are remotely in the meeting, I'm gonna even do it right now and share the link with you guys in the chat. And we are ready. Half of the people are in my room, half of the people are joining remotely. I ask everybody to open the link, and they do. And I also know if they have opened the link or not by looking at this thing. So at least one of you went and opened the link from the chat, and I can see it from here, because right now it says viewed once, meaning that at least one person has opened the link. All right, so I open the same link. Let's say that this is the customer who opens the link on the right side, and I am here on the left side. So right side, customer screen, left side, my screen. Here, if I change the slide, it changes also in the customer's browser. It doesn't matter if they are joining the link with their mobile phone, computer, whatever. It is always changed when I change the slide. And the customer, him or herself, cannot do anything here. So even if they try to swipe, if they try to press any buttons on their keyboard, they cannot do anything, because I am in charge as I am the presenter. Now, right here, I can again go ahead and click this and click open presenter window, use this, and it will change the slide again on the customer screen too. But then I can also do it way more easily. And the easy way is to press button from your keyboard, and the button is O. So O as in overview, or O as in Ojapuska, naturally. Yeah, so now I'm pressing O from my keyboard, and as you can see, it opens the presenter window in the same window as what I just had open. So it doesn't open a new window, but it shows me the overview and the presenter view in the same window. And this works the same way. I select the slide that I want to show, and it changes in the customer's end. If I want, I can also add notes here. So if I want to remember, like, hey, Emma, you rock. I would never write this to myself, but if you need this kind of little cheering during the presentation, you can just write your own notes here and nobody else can see these notes. So the customer, no matter how much they press the O button, they are not able to see anything else other than this. You can also, after the meeting, when you have all gone through everything is fine, everybody in the same room opened the link, everybody remotely opened the link, or even if you shared your screen for the remote people, everybody was having fun. You answered to all of their questions at the one time, as this is what happens in all sales meetings, naturally. Well, all right, it's now done. So they were happy. Meeting ending. What happens to the link? You can leave it here. If you leave it here, the customer will only see the last slide. But you can also delete the link. And if I do this, nobody will ever see anything from this presentation again. So, all right, meeting is ended. You don't have to see anything else here at all. Easy as that. Now the meeting went really well, and the customer is interested in the product that I was selling to them. They asked that, Emma, can you send some materials afterwards? Of course I can. If they want the same material, so basically the whole sales deck, I can just send this whole sales deck, but most likely they only want a few slides, as we were not talking about all of these things. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new presentation. This is for company X, create presentation. And now I'm just going to add from the slide bank the same slides that I showed showed in the meeting. So cover letter, maybe I am Sarah today, so Sarah contact information, key figures, and then they were interested in our solution. All right, now we have a simple material that I'm gonna send to the customer. I go once again to the share page, so I can access it from here, or then I can go to the front page and press the share button from here. Now that I'm sending this material to the customer and I want them to be able to scroll through the presentation, I am not going to use Seidat Live. Instead, I'm going to use a Seidat link. So Seidat link is meant for those situations when you just want to share material to other people and you want them to be able to actually scroll through the material by themselves. This link can be shared the same way as the live link. So you just copy the link, send it as an attachment or as in the text of your email, or you click here, send via email. I usually press this email by client. It opens my own personal email, and from here I can just write the respondent's name and add my own text here. And once I press send, it sends it straight from my email. All right, so how this looks for the customer is so that I'm going to open it in incognito window so we see exactly how the customer sees it. This is the first slide. They press arrows and it moves to this next slide. So now I am no more in charge. The customer can do whatever they want with this presentation. They can share it to their colleagues. They can not share it to their colleagues. They can open it as many times as they want. It's simple as that. So basically, normally people send out attachment as PDFs or PowerPoint files, and those can be quite big. And so, and also the other thing is that you will never know if the customer has actually opened the presentation. So for me in sales, I love it that in Seidat you can see this here, viewed once. If I send this to a customer, normally in the private note section, I always put their name there. So for example, sent to Heikki, and then company name maybe, so it's easier to remember. And now, as I know that this link has been sent to Heikki, I can look at this. So viewed once means that Heikki viewed it once. If I open it again in a incognito window, so it doesn't recognize that it is me who is part of the Seidat team, I can see that the presentation or the link has been viewed 2 times. So this counts all the times that somebody has opened the presentation. It can be so that Heikki went and opened the presentation 2 times, but it can also be so that Heikki opened it once, sent it to Jori, and Jori also opened it once. So this is the amount of clicks that happened to this link. It doesn't know who opened it, but you get the full number, and usually that is something that is enough when you're calling to a customer and you want to know that if they have viewed the materials you sent them to, if it has been opened 12 times, it usually tells that they are quite interested. All right. Now that we share the materials with links instead of PDFs, we are also able to edit the presentation even though I have already sent it to the customer. So now, once again, on the right-hand side, we have a customer who is viewing, let's say, this page. I have sent it this link to them, and now I see that, okay, I accidentally put wrong contact information here. My name is not Sarah, my name is Emma. So if I go and edit the presentation right here, I'm gonna switch to this slide, edit it, and put my name there, Emma Ojapuska. Can't even write my own last name. Yep, Emma Ojapuska. And once I press save, the customer sees the edits immediately. So now you never have to send a presentation, customer comes back with new questions, send another presentation, they come up with a new question, send a third presentation. That has to never happen again. You can just share one link and say, hey, I updated the presentation in the link. Quite easy, huh? At least in my opinion. Any questions regarding sharing materials or presenting with Seidat? All right, no? So I'm going to continue. Now, let's say that this presentation was an offer and the offer is valid until end of February. I can delete the link at the end of February if I want, but if I have a bad memory like I do, I want the link to expire automatically. So I'm just going to press the expiration date, set it as the last of February, and now if the customer tries to open the presentation 1st of March, it will say that the presentation is expired. Also, if I want to make sure that they don't have any access at the moment to the presentation, I can just press delete share. Okay, and now the presentation is not found there anymore. Quite easy, I would say. But if you're in a situation where somebody really asked for a PDF copy, you can also go here, click export or PDF, and export the whole presentation as a PDF. Other thing is that if you have no access to internet, let's say that you are on an airplane and you still want to have a sales meeting with the guy who is sitting next to you on the plane and you want to use Seidat for that, you are also able to download the whole Seidat presentation for offline use. So then you will not lose the matrix structure of any of that. You just press here, download presentation, and then you can use it offline. All right. I told you that I'm going to tell you more about the analytics. So firstly, the analytics that we have in Seidat for everybody to use are the Seidat in-app analytics, which basically means that we have this viewing info here. So that is something that is usually enough because it's very easy to access. But if you want to get more information or more data about who is viewing the or how much your presentations have been viewed, you can also, for example, have Google Analytics in your Seidat team. You can also have lead feeder attached to your Seidat team. What this means is that you attach, for example, analytics. This is a screenshot from our Google Analytics, and here you can see in more detail who is using a presentation most or whose presentation is viewed the most. Here we have Nora's myyntiesitys from 2019. Sorry, this is quite old screenshot, but it still shows the same. Oh, we have a question. Can you download the PDF straight to computer without sending it to email? At the moment, it goes first to email, and then you have to click from there. So there is no shortcut to actually first just to press, and you would get it immediately. All right. So here, the Google Analytics. If you want to see how much time people spend on your presentation or which slide is the most interesting, you can have your analytics in Seidat, and then you get all of this data. Also, as I said before, you can have, for example, lead feeder, your CRM, all of these kind of things you can have in your Seidat team if you want to get more out of the analytics. For me, the in-app analytics is quite enough, as I am too lazy to switch from platform to platform, but sometimes I also check the Google Analytics if I want. All right. That's basically almost everything from my end. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. You can ask me directly, or then you can use the chat we have on our app. The chat can be found here. I personally answered there in 7 seconds, I think, at the moment. But anyways, use the chat, ask there, or then go to our support site. We have an answer to almost everything there, and everything is written in detail of how you can use Seidat. Also, we have more webinars. So if you are more interested in, for example, the analytics, or you want to know how to utilize Seidat in different situations, you want to know what kind of presentations work well, go ahead and go to our website, select Seidat Academy here, and then webinars. All of the webinars that we have here come here as a recording. So if you're not able to attend, or the webinar has already been shown, then just go ahead and download recording, and you will get it to your email. All right. I am still here for a couple of minutes for questions. And if you were not able to join in the first minutes, you will also get the recording automatically to your email tomorrow, I would say. Maybe I can promise tomorrow, at least in 2 days. All right. But anyways, thank you from my end, and I hope you have nice time with Seidat.